Trade. That's what it all comes down to, yet again. Trump earlier today, the president saying that he hasn't agreed to a rollback of tariffs with China in any way, and the market didn't really like that news.
I mean, but we're still up a little bit. And first off, before we do that, thank you again. But more importantly, I think from both of us, thank you to everybody who's serving today, who has served. We have the privilege of being in this industry knowing that we're under the protection of our uniformed services, and that protection keeps our enemies at bay and allows us to live our American life. Thank you. Now, it seems so trivial to talk about trade, but let's talk about trade. Look, it looks like this phase one is going to happen. I'm hopeful that this back and forth that we've had this week, and it's been every day, right, whether we're going to meet in the U.S., not meet in the U.S., whether tariffs are going to roll back or not roll back, I think that's immaterial as long as there is a sign of progress, preferably by the end of this month, in some sort of phase one deal signed. I think it would be great if the tariffs were rolled back, at least the ones that were issued on August 1st, because that was the one round of tariffs that seems a little bit hasty. And I think you can roll those back and move forward and still not lose your negotiating power with the Chinese if you do that.
Yeah, Steph, it seems, at least on the issue of trade, what was yesterday with this White House isn't the same thing today. We've learned our lesson about that. There's been a lot of optimism. It's driven the market back to record highs. There's more optimism across Wall Street. You can feel kind of the turn in the narrative. You have new calls today. Tom Lee, friend of our show, raises his target to the end of the year, 31.85. Said, when he was on with us not that long ago, it could go higher than that. Marko Kolanovic, J.P. Morgan, he's a technical guy. He's increasing risk on. The street's getting more bullish. Is it justified?
I think so, because I think it's more than just trade that has held us back. It was global growth and a global growth recession that we saw for the last several years, and a manufacturing recession as well. And we've actually been getting data over the last couple of weeks that actually has shown us seeing some stabilization globally. German PMIs, the EU PMIs, even here, money supply is up 8% annualized in the last 13 weeks. That's very accommodative and very positive. So if we can get any progress on trade, and then you have global growth stabilizing, and then you have earnings less bad. And oh, by the way, next year, earnings are expected to grow 8 to 10%. That's a heck of a lot better than flat this year. I think there's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, Josh, is there reason to be more bullish than we have been in prior months?
I'm going to tell you what I consider to be the single most bullish development that happened during the course of 2019, and it is still happening, so there's time to capitalize. We went into this year with this idea, when I say we, colloquially speaking, that all of the performance of the market was being generated by a small group of companies known together as the FANGs, and that they were going to take over every industry, disrupt every other publicly traded company. And I don't think people were really excited about that, unless you were the CEO of one of those 4 or 5 stocks. This year, we had a complete reversal in the sentiment around that idea. Look at Amazon. It's up 15% on the year. Not bad, but drastically trailing the S&P 500. In the meantime, take a look at Walmart, up double that, 30%. Take a look at Target. Take a look at Costco. These stocks are up 40%, 60%. So I think this idea that you could buy companies away from Silicon Valley and that they're having success taking on the Amazons of the world, that is a relatively new development that people are waking up to. The American consumer has never been better served by some of the large cap companies in this country. And I love seeing it be a ball game once again.
Is that something you think is going to continue?
I do. I really do. And I think you're seeing more confidence on the part of what we used to think of as old line disrupted companies saying, you know what, we can be a tech company too. And we're seeing it in finance. We're seeing it in healthcare. And I think you will continue to see that ripple across the economy. Companies have confidence that they can get into the game too. And I think it reflects in the stock price.